Welcome to PLUSone VR, the series where I look at the free VR games on PlayStation Plus and tell you if they're worth the download. After all, the games may be free, but your time is valuable. Today we're looking at 2016's Until Dawn Rush of Blood, a VR exclusive spin-off of Until Dawn, which was also free earlier this year. Rush of Blood is quite literally an on-rails shooter. You ride through a handful of roller coasters shooting at targets for points and later shooting at actual enemies. There are two main ways to play, by waving a DualShock around in the air and by using two PS Move controllers. With the DualShock, both of your guns will be locked together, meaning that you can only really aim in one direction. For that reason, I strongly recommend you use two Move controllers if you can. Being able to shoot in two separate directions at once is a lifesaver, especially later on. It's important to note that Rush of Blood was a PSVR launch title, so the game tends to play it pretty safe, hence why, well, it's on rails. It also doesn't look super great at first. VR has come a long way in just a year, let's say that. However, if you're a VR owner, you already know that visuals themselves aren't everything. Yes, there's going to be some pop in here and there, and yes, the character models are very low poly, but that doesn't exactly matter. The jump scares can get to you. Ducking under massive saws will raise the hair on your arms, and you'll very likely sway around with the coaster as you speed downhill. To elaborate on those saw blades for just a moment, the audio direction in this game is fantastic. Wearing headphones and hearing in surround sound the blades spinning right by your ear, God, it's really damn cool. If you're not a VR owner, just trust me when I say that VR is something you really need to experience for yourself to understand. The two big issues with Rush of Blood are its name and its aim. First, the name. It's only very tangentially an Until Dawn game. They just took the fact that Until Dawn is somewhat supernatural and spoopy, and made a spoopy VR game. There are some references to Until Dawn here and there, characters pop up as hallucinations for example, but it still feels mostly tacked on just for the sake of driving sales based on my time with the game. Second, and the big one, the aim. In lieu of giving you aiming reticles, Rush of Blood attaches flashlights to the guns. Oftentimes this makes for some really tense moments as the lights cut out and pop back in for a jump scare or just to help drive that feeling of fear. However, as a result, it also leads to the aiming being pretty imprecise at a distance. I would often unload several shots in a row just to make sure I hit my target. Also, I had a couple issues with the right Move controller syncing to the PS camera. It only happened when I was recording footage, and I think my battery was low on that controller, but it's worth noting. Despite the issues I had at times, the game was really fun as a sort of tease for what VR can offer. If you're a new PSVR owner or you haven't played the game yet, +1 Rush of Blood to your collection. With only about 100 games on the platform and many of them being free, take any chance you can to expand your library with premium games. Don't expect a super long experience though, as the game's only a couple hours long unless you go for full completion and all the alternate paths. The game is also 13 gigs in size, so you might need to make a little space on your hard drive. And as always, if you're watching this video late and it's no longer free, Rush of Blood is $20. If you're not sure whether that's a good price for you, there is a free demo available to test it out. I would say that $10 to $15 is the best price to reach for. If you have a PSVR, let me know what you think about Rush of Blood in the comments down below. And if you want to find out if future PS Plus titles, both normal and VR, are worth a spot on your system, make sure you subscribe.